Hello everyone, welcome to another Zoo Creates with Tegan and Jessica. Today we're going to be teaching you how to make some puffy paint that you can use outside on your sidewalk. Now for that we are going to need some flour, some water, and some dish soap. And then we also are going to be using a bowl or a bucket. You'll need something to mix in. And then something to measure. So we need 1 cup of flour, so we're gonna have a cup measuring spoon, and then we're also gonna need a tablespoon of our dish soap. So if you want to get something that measures a tablespoon as well, we'll use those. And then we're also going to be using a Ziploc baggie today. So you might have a squeeze bottle, but this is a really good way to fashion your own squeeze bottle, kind of like you can use these for frosting as well. So that's the kind of technique we're going to use. So to start, let's get our container. Now this is a messy craft, so we do recommend that you do it outside to help with cleanup and things like that. We definitely think that that would be preferred. So I'm gonna start by measuring 1 cup of flour into my bucket here.
I think I actually have an actual 1 cup, but I think you're using a third cup.
Mine is a 1/3 cup, so I have to do 3.
This is a good opportunity to use those math skills with your little ones.
Yes.
Learning how to measure. You need more flour?
Yes, I will need a little bit more flour. Thank you.
And then how much water did you say?
So we're gonna do equal parts flour and water, so that means we need 1 cup of water. Now, when we finish mixing, we might realize that we need a little bit more water, so you might need a little bit more than a cup, but we will test that out when we get there.
And then a tablespoon of our dish soap, you said?
Yep, 1 tablespoon.
Does it matter what kind of flour we use, or do you think anything would really work?
I think any type of flour would work. Yeah, because some of us might be gluten-free, so we might have other forms of flour.
Whatever you have in your cupboard.
Yes.
So what kind of consistency are we wanting to see when we mix this together?
So I find it to be a little bit easier if it's more of a cake batter consistency. You want to see that it's thick, but you want to be able to let it drip. So sometimes when we make frosting, we get it to a point where it's stiff and it doesn't drip, but we want it to be able to drip.
And so just add a little extra water if we need to?
Yep, if it's too thick, you just add a little bit of water. And you want to do just a little bit at a time, maybe like half a tablespoon.
What happens if it gets too runny? Can we just add a little bit more flour to it?
Yep. Okay. So you'll just add flour as needed.
So very similar to like if you're making pie crust or something. You never know how much you need.
Right. And I'm sure different types of flour we're going to require different amounts of water. There might be a little bit of a different chemistry to those. All right, so once we've got it mixed up and you've got that drippy, thick quality, I'm going to transfer our mixture into the Ziploc.
Do you have to put all of this into the Ziploc, or could you divide it up to make a bunch of different colors?
Yeah, so if you want more than 1 color, you're definitely going to want to divide it up because the main idea of putting it in the Ziploc is we're going to add our color while it's in the Ziploc. And you know what? I forgot a step in my recipe. I've got to add my dish soap. That's what's going to make it puffy.
To kind of help with my mess, I rolled the sides of my Ziploc down. If you have smaller baggies, that might work a little better if you're wanting to make a bunch of different colors. It might be easier for the kids to hold on to. much food coloring should we add to this?
I would start with just 1 drop. And then if you want it to be darker, you could open it back up and add a little bit more.
Kind of.
But with food coloring, one drop really goes a long ways.
I think I want a dark green, so I'm going to add a little bit more food coloring to mine.
Yes. Now as you can see, it's already getting kind of messy. My fingers have that mixture all over them.
That's why it's a good outside activity.
Definitely. All right. Yep, and just like Jessica's doing, you're just gonna wanna squish it and rub it in there, mushing it back and forth.
I'm kind of squeezing the air out of my bag too when I do it, so that way it mixes just a little better.
Right. Yeah, so I definitely found 1 drop wasn't quite enough, so I'm gonna add 2 more because I want it to be a bright color. There we go.
All right, once we get it the color that we want, how do we get the chalk out of here? Are we gonna, you said we're gonna kind of squeeze it out of the bag. Can you kind of walk us through how to get that ready?
So I've got a nice pale pink here. And then you're gonna wanna squish that paint out of one corner of the bottom of your bag. Just squeeze it away from the corner. And then we're gonna use some scissors to cut the very tip of the bag. Now you always want to start a little smaller because you can always make it bigger. But if you make the hole too big, then it might all fall out and not work as well to write with or draw with.
And since we're not outside today, we actually just have a piece of black construction paper that we're going to draw on. But you guys, if you are outside when you make this paint, you can go right to your sidewalk or driveway.
Yeah. All right, and then you want to push that paint towards that hole that you cut. Kind of squish it back to that corner that you pushed it away from. And then you can hold it and push it out of the hole. I'm kind of dripping already.
Whoops. I definitely cut my hole a little too big, but that's okay. I'm just gonna make sure that I don't squeeze very hard. This will be a really fun activity to do this week. Since we're supposed to get a little bit of rain, we probably can almost do it every single day this week. My kids are really into hopscotch right now. So this might be a fun way to do
hopscotch.
Yeah, to do a hopscotch and then let the paint, the chalk dry.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I like it.
This will be a good activity for kids to practice their writing.
What are you working on, Jessica?
I'm writing a little message to everybody. I'm almost done, so I can share it. All right. Okay, I'm going to try to hold this up. I've got a lot of paint coming all over the place. Telling everyone how much we miss them.
Yes. Oh.
All right.
We do. Now it's time for our special animal guest, Tilly, and this is one of her keepers, Julia.
All right, so Tilly is one of our ambassador animals. So you've seen a few of those. Oops, she might sneak onto Tegan's table. So Tilly is a prehensile-tailed porcupine. And what that means is she has this really nice long prehensile tail. And what that means she can actually hold onto things with that tail. And she is a very, very good climber. So she likes to live up in trees, in the rainforest, and hang out with some other porcupines up there. They can be social, sometimes with, with their young and other adults if it is, you know, mating season. But Tilly is about 10 years old. She started in the education department with us, and then she spent some time with our tamarins. So you might have seen her on exhibit in the Discovery Center at some point. And I think one of our guinea pigs visited before, so you might have learned some things about rodents. And Tilly is a type of rodent too. So she has two really long, sharp teeth that she uses to chew her food. And she can open some pretty big nuts. So she likes things like peanuts and Brazil nuts and sweet potato. She gets rodent blocks as well. And over here she has some corn that she's not as interested in. Tilly hasn't been out in a while. So she is way more curious of all the things Tegan had over there. Way more interested than the yummy treats I had when she ate all her breakfast. I guess she wanted to explore. Now, rodents have a really, really good sense of smell. So you can see Tilly right here has a really big nose, and she's going to use that to smell for her food.
Now, could we find porcupines like Tilly here in Iowa or in the United States?
You cannot. So they are native to Central and South America.
Okay. I must smell good.
Oh, have you met Tilly before?
I have been around Tilly before. I don't know that she's gotten a good sniff of me before, though.
Maybe she's trying to figure out who you are.
Hi, Tilly. So now she's got quills covering her, and I see that they're like black and white. Why would they be two colors?
And so those quills, they are a type of hair. So they grow out of her body just like our hairs do. And some porcupines have a little more white, some of them have more dark. It's kind of like how we all have different hair color.
She's still thinking. Now she's got some long claws. Does she use those for anything besides digging?
So since she is in the trees a lot, she uses those for climbing. And so those long nails help her hook into the bark on the trees and climb up. And then she's able to rip into those different fruits also.
Very cool. What does Tilly like to do? Like, does she have any toys?
Her favorite activity is sleeping, actually. And so she usually sleeps most of the day and night away. And then she does like figuring out different food puzzles. So sometimes we'll hide her food in different things and she has to kind of take them apart to find the treats inside. And she does enjoy that as well.
Awesome. So she's very curious and smart, too.
Yes.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for bringing Tilly to us today. It was so fun to watch her explore. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Stay tuned for some more Zoo Creates, and we'll see you later. Bye, guys.